It's a floor one fall. Introducing first, accompanied by Mickey James from Columbus, Ohio. The Raw Women's Champion. 5 feet of fury. I also understand why Alexa treats everyone like their second-class citizens. Because she's better than them, Byron. When you're better than someone, it's perfectly acceptable to treat them poorly. That's the moral he lives by. Obviously, he works with you. Alexa Bliss, the type of woman that'll stab you in the back and you'll still ask her to autograph the handle. Speak for yourself. Here comes the war guy. Her entrance is just as unique as her offensive footwork. And comes from Dallas, Texas. Stay with us. We've got a huge tag team match coming up. I hope we see competition tonight looking to make a statement, which means we might see these two teams do things we've never seen them do in the past. Byron, it just became iconic. Oh, I see it on the drawing. And they're coming first from Sydney, Australia, taking boys. Byron, I was back in the locker room area earlier today, and I heard Peyton Royce imitating you. Imitating you. An unbelievable impersonation. She does great impressions. Spot on, Byron Saxton. Oh, and by the way, she also handles her business inside the ring. Student of Lance Storm. Peyton Royce is absolutely incredible. Look at her, Byron. Yeah, I can see her. Beautiful and deadly. A true Venus flytrap. Byron, time to put your hair on the square up while you don't have any hair. Well, you get the point. And her friend from Chicago, New Jersey, Sonia Deville. Tremendous attitude in the main background. Punch you right in your face. Yeah, Sonia Deville once said she feels like she was placed on this earth to hurt people. Sonya Deville was the great history. Milestone. She competed in the first ever women's Royal Rumble match, Elimination Chamber match, even the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Big time tag team match underway here.
Man, this card is just packed with so many great matches, and this one is definitely among the most anticipated, I'd say.
Oh, look at this aggression in the corner. This can't be legal.
Totally ruthless, but effective.
Oh, what impact!
For many years, members of the WWE Universe and the WWE locker room have felt that tag team matches should have two referees. One referee is in the ring overseeing the action, and the other is located out on the floor, making sure teams follow the rules and do not engage in potentially damaging behavior. I think it's a good idea, something perhaps Mr. McMahon might want to consider.
Earlier, you raised a point that people have been talking about for years, and that's a second referee being appointed to tag team matches. I remember WWE Hall of Famer and former WWE President Gorilla Monsoon used to express his strong advocacy for two referees being appointed to tag team matches.
It's something that's been talked about for decades, Michael, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. We've seen it on occasion, but I think it's best to let the superstars be responsible for themselves. And the appointed official for the match needs to do the job they're paid to do. I don't think it's that much to ask.
Watching Ember Moon the past few years, Corey, one thing I've learned is that her drive to succeed may be unmatched.
I don't think Free Collins that drive that makes her so hard to defeat and nearly impossible to game plan for. How do you prepare for a woman who refuses to lose?
Sorry, Mr. Williams. As Corey mentioned, preparing for Ember is not easy, especially given that she has no quit in. But that said, Byron, perhaps replicating what Shayna Baszler did to Ember at TakeOver New Orleans would be a good approach. As fishy as it may sound, if Ember refuses to quit, you might have no other choice than to render her unconscious, much like Shayna did. Oh, nasty impact. He wants to do this in the ring. Damn. When it comes to Ember Moon, one thing's for certain, guys. She made an instant impact, handily beating Billie Kay in her first ever match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. Wait. This combo is out of this. I have to agree with what Byron was saying about Ember Moon's debut. She made her presence felt on day one and never looked back, beating some pretty big names in the process.
Anytime you could say you defeated the likes of Shayna Baszler and Ruby Riott, you know you're legit.
To the back. She's starting to sweat a bit. Her and her partner are making a great tag team. We'll see what they're made of here.
She's putting up quite a fight here, Cole, but despite that, now is probably a good time to look for the tag.
She's definitely slowing down here a bit. But that doesn't mean it's the end of the road for her. Not by a long shot. Born in Australia, Peyton Royce's path to WWE saw her travel many miles, including a stop in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where, like many before her, Peyton honed her craft before ultimately joining WWE. Oh my! Alexa Bliss looking a little stunned here. Her and her partner aren't going to let this derail them. Corey, Byron, get a loose and take a look. Look at Sonya Deville. She better do something, Cat. She breaks free, but you have to run her. She might have. You better do something. She fights out, but that doesn't mean the damage wasn't already done, Michael. Impact. Stop. Good grief. Oh, that's unnecessary. Impact. Look at Alexa Bliss. She's fearing it. What's acting up that? Oh. Beautiful technique. Comes in off the tag. You gotta believe this one's over.
When a superstar is in a tag team match and has endured heavy amounts of punishment, they must find a way back to their corner to tag their partner. Something that they have to try is doing create separation between them and their opponent. That space gives a superstar the ability to move and catch their breath.
Corey, you touched on this before. Part of the tag team's ability to be successful is their ability to endure punishment and make their way to their partner when they need to tag out. One way to do that is to create that separation you spoke of, so they have some space to gather themselves and time to make their way back to the corner.
You're absolutely right, Michael. What's the use of having a tag team partner if you're not able to get to them when you got to tag out of the match? Getting that separation is key in breaking any momentum your opponents could have, maybe the difference between a win and a loss, maybe even more. Tag team history was made when the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions were crowned at Backlash 2016. The unlikely duo of Rhino and Heath Slater caught lightning in a bottle and ran through the tag team title tournament. In the finals, Rhino and Slater took on the Usos to see which team would be the inaugural tag team champions.
She kept her with a reversal. But what incredible power! She goes to the cup. There was a lot on the line in the tag team tournament finals. The Usos wanted to add another tag team title onto the resume and enjoyed the record of being the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champion. The team of Rhino and Heath Slater was a team no one expected to be in the finals. Slater had extra motivation because he was fighting for a WWE title. At one point, it seemed like the Usos had everything well in the hand, but Rhino and Heath Slater were control down. And one thing we learned very early about Ember Moon is that she can overcome any adversity thrown her way. Well, I think she proved that most in 2017 when she was sidelined for several weeks due to her shoulder injury. But eventually returned to the NXT. Flex through. Not done yet. Going good. This one's over, guys. The night could be over for Ember Moon. I can reinforce what Byron was saying on Ember Moon's women's championship victory. What made it so impressive, in my opinion, that she had to beat not one, but three other women to capture the gold. That's right. It was that takeover war games where Ember Moon turned back Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce, and Kairi Sane to become NXT Women's Champion. In order to be a premier tag team, a superstar and their teammate must have that continuity where they're a machine inside the ring. I'm talking about classic techniques like cutting the ring in half, isolating your opponent, relegating them to your corner, make frequent tag so that the fresh man is always in the ring. That's how you keep your opponents off balance. Rolling the arm, knee strike. Oh no. 2 months ago, you took us through what it takes for a tag team to be successful. Continuity between tag team partners is crucial. But a team is able to keep one opponent in the ring for an extended period of time without making a tag. They're able to focus their attack on one individual and one body part.
And that's when things really start to take shape if you're on the tag team that's in control of the match. When you look at the tag teams who dominated this business, they worked well together as a unit and were able to keep an opponent in the ring long enough to make that adversary the focal point of their assault. When you talk about great tag teams, we can go all the way back to teams like the Tolos brothers. Steve and Stain, wow, fantastic ability from Ember Moon. That might just be the final nail in the coffin.
Gets the tag. Tag team competition dates back all the way to the early 1900s. Corey, you mentioned some of the classic duos from sports entertainment's incredible history. Today's WWE tag team scene has never been more competitive. I don't know who has the edge when it comes to talent, whether it's Raw or SmackDown Live. I think it's too close to call, but all the teams clearly think and act as one unit.
I agree, Michael. Teams such as the Usos, American Alpha, Anderson and Gallows, the New Day, the Hardy Boys, Cesaro and Sheamus. I could be here all day looking at it here.
We're looking at complete dominant miracle technique.
That's when you put an exclamation point on the end of the match, guys.
Going to Bill, better not waste this opportunity. Nope, reverses it. Joey DeVille has been left up pretty hard here. The tag team partner has to be concerned at this point. I see where she's going with this.
She's tough, but nobody's that tough. Go for both. Oh. Getting close, just a little. Oh, she makes the tag, and not a moment too soon. Yeah, when she gets to the tempo, look at it. She's driven down hard. This might just be the end of the road for like, yeah, there's the tag. And that shows us an entire police woman night. Hard landing there. Nothing to worry about. Just a little misstep on her part. Two from the goddess with insult to injury. That is definitely it. A win like that says a lot about a duo. And here's another peek of the moves you saw in that match. This was another great moment. Almost forgot about this one. Man, this was great. If you don't enjoy watching her perform, there's something seriously wrong with you. Oh, that's not great. Big win here on the next team inside. These two girls in the police station, you should have a women's tag team championship. Who do I have to talk to get that thing? We'll probably move up here in a minute. I'd like to thank everybody home for on half of the Australian duo known as the Iconics.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Sydney, Australia, Billy Kay.
Billy Kay Byron wouldn't allow you to breathe the same air she does, so they want to hang out with her. It's not really an option, Saxton. Billy Kay exists in a whole world you know nothing about. A world of beauty, a world of danger. Yeah, how about a world of lies and deceit? Billy Kay, extremely beautiful, extremely dangerous, and a real up and comer here in WWE. I talked to Billy Kay about you, and her quote was, "He's too dumb to function." I find that part of you. Listen, I didn't say it. I was just repeating what I was told by my source. Which journal? Boxing time!
And her partner, from Pontiac, Florida, Alicia Bob.
Hey, Alicia! Alicia! Well, you could have heard what fire. No, they were. Michael, I'm getting out of here. Good. Thank God. Now the show can get crazy like a fox. Yeah, she's not quite like all your other superstars in WWE. She has some issues. Unpredictable, sure. I'm into that sort of thing. Corey, it's your night.
And your opponent, Prince, accompanied by the Miz, from Montreal, from Canada, Wwe 40.
We were recently in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Poland. I tried to marry every woman I met because they all sounded like Maurice. Sounds like a personal problem. That is competitor in the ring. Of course, the wife to the Miz, but Maurice, I like to refer to the Miz and Maurice husband. Successful as Maurice, but he does that. It's a very questionable attitude. Not even question Byron. Melodies money.
And her partner from Saturday Night Fever with Princess of Stardom.
Byron, are you ready to make the truth yet? That Carmella's the most obnoxious woman in the entire women's division? You are delusional. Mella is money. Oh, we can wear blinders. What blinders only when Mella's around? So what would you know anything about how women try to love Mella? Now, see, you're kissing up to Carmella as well. I would not. I think she's an unbelievable talent. Mella is money. Everyone's ready, just like that. This tag team match is underway. Nasty impact. Big slam. Just like it. Oh my. I'll break you in half. Stop. Good grief. Ah, slam. Now the old vicious head crank. Look at the torque. Oh, that was a vicious shit. Tag. What are we going to see here? What a brute. There have been times in sports entertainment when unlikely duos have formed, and over time they develop a bond and become an outstanding tag team combination. The team that immediately comes to mind is the powerhouse duo of Cesaro and Sheamus. After their thrilling best of seven series, I wouldn't think they developed into a top tag team. I don't think anyone thought Cesaro and Sheamus would develop into a premier tag team. Over time, the superstars realized that they were better as allies than as enemies. And when they combined their incredible strength, the results were something that couldn't be ignored. It was really unbelievable to witness the evolution of Cesaro and Sheamus as a team. We saw them improve every week and conquer a variety of opponents. To see the Swiss Cyborg and Celtic Warrior go from unwilling partners to WWE Raw Tag Team Champions was truly impressive. In May of 2017, SmackDown Live saw an incredible women's tag team match when Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch squared off against welcoming committee members Natalya and Carmella. The rivalry between these women got so intense that Naomi was in Flair and Lynch's corner, and Tamina was in Natalya and Carmella's corner. I think only a group as treacherous as the welcoming committee could bring Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair back together. So his power set the tone for the match and gave her team an advantage. That was until Carmella's overconfidence let the Irish last kicker turn the tide and get back into the match. And then it was elementary from there for the Irish born superstar. Naomi did an excellent job of making sure any quote unquote committee nonsense cost her girls the match.
Let's go through got Carmella locked in the dishonor. There was nothing for the Staten Island Princess to do but to tap out. And it didn't take long for that to happen. If you remember, guys, Carmella's introduction to the main roster came in 2016 when she was the final pick in the WWE Grand Extension Draft. This one's over. Alicia Fox not looking so hot here. Her and her partner making a great tag team. We'll see what they're made of here. Byron noted how Carmella was the final pick in the 2016 draft. I think in a lot of ways, seeing more than 50 superstars get selected before her gave Carmella a bit of a chip on her shoulder. Yeah, it definitely motivated her goal. And fast forward less than 2 years later, Carmella became SmackDown Women's Champion. Talk about a meteoric rise. Tag in. Hey, stop! That'll ruin your leg. Over the last few years, the tag team scene in WWE is hotter than it's ever been. One of the teams that has shined brighter than any other is the New Day. Particularly Woods, Big E, and Kofi Kingston are two-time tag team champions. But it was their second reign that put the New Day name in WWE history books forever. The tag team competition right now is as heated as it's ever been since the end. There it is. She's made the tag. And her partner is an absolute fire. Kicks them off. The reversal by Alicia Fox. And up the tag. During the rivalry between the Hardy Boys and Cesaro and Sheamus over the Raw Tag Team Championship, the teams became very familiar with one another. Now that's an impressive tag team victory. These ladies put on quite a show. Here's another gander. I remember this part very well. Look at all ring, and I expected nothing less.
Here are your winners, Maurice and the Princess of Staten Island.
That's it for this tag team match, and what a thrilling match it was. To get the pinfall victory over such a high quality opponent is incredibly impressive. Well, that was indeed a great match. And I think oh, you're looking at the future right here.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Knoxville, Tennessee, Bianca Belair.
WWE Universe, you are looking at a superstar who is simply blessed to be the best, just naturally better than everybody else, even when only doing the bare minimum. We talk about some of that natural athletic talent for it. Bianca's been exceptional her entire life. She earned all SEC and All American honors in track and field at the University of Tennessee. If you just ask her, so tell you why she's better than you got eyes, Byron. You understand. A freak in the weight room, a beast in the ring. Bianca Belair can do it all. And she's got a lethal hair whip. The irresistible force. Hey, whenever Nia Jax enters an arena, whenever Nia Jax enters a match, everyone takes notice of the dominance that this woman is capable of. She's beautiful, she's powerful, she's dangerous. It's like $1 million wrestling ball. Nia Jax is the irresistible force to be reckoned with. It's a play.
And here comes first from the Queen City, the collective women's champion, Charlotte.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at one of the reasons that the women's revolution has become the women's evolution. First ever women's held in a cell match against Sasha Banks. An amazing Iron Man match as well. Charlotte has accomplished this all in such a short period of time. Multi-time champions, history maker, record setter, legend in the making. Incredible legend, Jacqueline.
And her partner from Dallas, Texas, Jacqueline.
You know, Jackie and Terry once formed a group called PMS, Women Mean Sisters. Not only was she a trainer and tough enough, she actually managed Booker T. Did you know that Jacqueline was a former WWE Cruiserweight champion? Back in 2004, Jacqueline, one of the toughest individuals that ever set foot in the ring, has competed against men and women for her entire career. And we're now underway with this huge tag team match. Finally. What impact? Oh, and a knee. And another endless knee strikes. Harsh impact. Where's the tag? Opponent off the ropes. Off landing. It's the mark. Where's the tag? Opponent off the ropes.
a long way down. In a tag team contest, a superstar and partner lock up against another duo. Unless there's a special stipulation added to the match, the traditional rules of the singles match apply in terms of winning the match via pinfall, submission, count out, or qualification. In a standard tag team match, one competitor is in the ring against an opponent, and their teammate is in their corner standing on the ring apron. I should also point out that the competitor in the ring, as far as the referee is concerned, is the legal man. Only the legal man can attempt to score a fall over an opponent or be defeated by an opponent. In a tag match, when a superstar tags their partner, the person who tagged out has until the referee's count of 5 to exit the ring. For a tag to be considered legal, both of the superstar's feet have to be on the apron. The partner must be touching the tag rope in the corner. Both team members must touch, and the referee must see the tag be made. Nia Jax, the irresistible force, is in action here. As her name implies, she's a tough competitor to overcome. Any ideas of how an opponent can prepare for Nia? I'd say it's nearly impossible to take down Nia, but the few times Jax has lost has been due to competition with serious submission skill. And sleeper holds make the few dents in Nia's otherwise impressive records. Going back to the discussion of submission hold succeeded against Nia Jax, Bayley used a sleeper hold to retain the NXT Women's Championship, and Asuka locked in an armbar for 2 whole minutes to beat Nia on Raw. And then there's Ronda Rousey, who skillfully used her variety of submissions against the irresistible force. And we're talking about Ronda Rousey, Bayley, and Asuka here. 3 of the most skilled competitors in WWE history. Getting close enough to Nia to even clinch in a submission is a tall feat. These Jacks will likely destroy you the moment you're within arm's reach. You gotta believe this one's over. Takes her down. Wow, nice move right there. Beautiful technique. The switch here to Jacqueline. Oh, what to the gut. The hand old man. She's taking out some heat. Here's what we're going to see what she's made of. The good news is that if it gets too out of control, she has her partner she can tag in while she catches her breath in the corner. Well, she's looked good up until now, but she just has to make sure not to inflict too much punishment here if she wants to get back into this thing. Don't forget back. And look at the quickness by Jacqueline. We may have a countdown here, guys. It certainly looks that way, Michael. Dodges a bullet there. Oh, it's impact. Here's Nia Jax. Get off the tank. Big gun. Here we go. She's almost on. She makes the tag. And not a moment too soon, Michael. And she goes getting hard. That'll leave a mark. Vicious. Yet another counter. It's like they're both somehow walk. She's looking at it. In May of 2017, SmackDown Live saw an incredible women's tag team match when she escapes with submission. Not a lot of people quick out of that one, Michael. Well planted knee. Ouch. And this is all part of Charlotte's strategy. Oh, man, right to the arm. Hyperextend your elbow. I think only a group as treacherous as the welcoming committee could bring Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair back together. That was a simple turn for the match and gave her team an advantage. That was until Carmella, she might have it. I think she's trying to make a point here. Looking a little dazed here. That's definitely not looking herself right now, Cole. What a clothesline. Forcefully delivered. When you talk about great tag teams, we can go all the way back to teams like the Tolos brothers, Stevens and Patterson, Stevens and Bockwinkel, the Texas Outlaws, the Briscoe, the Blackjacks, the Andersons, and the list goes on and on. When you're part of a tag team, the two partners have to travel together, train together, eat together, and be completely in sync with one another. Charlotte sure does that one. She did indeed. Tag team competition dates back all the way to the early 1900s. Corey, you mentioned some of the classic duels in sports entertainment's incredible history. In today's WWE, the tag team scene has never been more competitive. I don't know who has the edge when it comes to talent, but it's Raw or SmackDown Live. I think it's too close to call, but all the teams truly think and act as one unit. Michael, teams such as the Usos, American Alpha, Anderson and Gap. There it is. She's made the tag, and her partner is on absolute fire. During the rivalry between the Hardy Boys, Cesaro and Sheamus over the Raw Tag Team Championship, the teams became very familiar with one another. In June of 2017, the teams met only 2 out of 3 falls. We've got to cover. We're still in this one. She drops her. That was about as in your face as it gets. The 2 out of 3 falls match saw the Hardy Boys go at it with Cesaro, and she's countering nicely now. Yeah, a second ago, she was almost done. Yeah. And she's back off her feet. I think that would caught her by surprise, Michael. Oh, man, right to the arm, hyperextend your elbow. Not sure how Jackie will look at the finish this one early. Tell you it was that. I can't believe she kicked out there. You can see the confidence just beaming from her right now. A minor miracle might be needed to overcome this beating. Stop. Good grief. She's looking at it. Fall over DDT. That's it. That's what she needed. She's clearly not getting paid by the hour. And the match continues. Here it comes. Ladies and gentlemen, by now I'm sure you've heard Bianca Belair describe herself as the EST NXT. Corey, what exactly does that mean? I'll break it down for you, Michael Cole. It doesn't look like she's going to get her to top here. She somehow breaks free, but you have to wonder how much damage is done. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's closing it. Head out for it. Hurts in the corner. He saw this. Running FTO plants. Nicely done. A high risk maneuver and it works to that top turnbuckle. Bianca Belair, big move. 50. He's back in full control now. Here we go. They did it. They won the match. How about another look at some of the highlights? Oh, I can't believe this. Who can forget this? He's taking care of business. And here's the last look. What's this one? Small victory here tonight. What we just saw there was a doctorate class in tag team competition. They just took the game to a whole other level.
Yeah, you can bet they're going to be talking about this match for quite some time. And it looks like it'll be these two superstars kicking it off here tonight. These superstars are about to put on a clinic in tag team competition, guys. That's how good they are. On it. Look, slam. Double underhook applied. Up and oh, knockout. Oh, man. Oh, the arm away. Oh, God, that hurt. See that distance? What a stop. Good grief. When a superstar is in a tag team match and has endured heavy amounts of punishment, they must find a way back to their corner to tag their partner. Something that they have to try is to create separation between them and their opponent. That space gives a superstar the ability to move and catch their breath. Corey, you touched on this before. Part of a tag team's ability to be successful is their ability to endure punishment and make their way to their partner when they need to tag out. One way to do that is to create their separation spoke of, so they have some space to gather themselves and time to make their way back to the corner. You're absolutely right, Michael. What's the use of having a tag team partner if you're not able to get to them when you got to tag out the match? Getting that separation is key in breaking any momentum your opponents could have. Maybe the difference between a win and a loss. Maybe either. I gotta say, guys, Bianca Belair has wasted little time making a name for herself. I mean, from the minute she walked in the door, the entire women's division stood up and took notice. And this takes a ton of strength to pull off, am I right? Oh, you are definitely right, Michael. But you also have to remember how much energy it drains to pull off. As Byron mentioned, Bianca Belair's impact has been immediate. From the very first match of the 2017 Mae Young Classic, Bianca has been opening eyes. Yeah, and it's worth noting that in the first round of the Mae Young Classic, she gave up 4 inches and about 40 pounds to her opponent, but still won. That's a testament to Belair's immense strength. Over the last few years, the tag team scene in WWE is hotter than it's ever been. One of the teams that has signed louder than any other is the New Day. Jennifer Woods, Big E, and Kofi Kingston are 2-time tag team champions. But it was their second reign that put a New Day name in WWE history books forever. What a stomp! Good grief! Well, tag team competition right now is as heated as it's ever been since the Attitude Era. I'm going to lock it in here. And she breaks free. I don't know how she did it, but that was impressive. There's the switch. Charlotte is in. Oh, what impact! Right on the jaw. I was lucky enough to call many of Charlotte Flair's biggest matches as she kickstarted the women's revolution with the likes of Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and so many more. They can't walk after that attack. Corey, Triple X NXT run helped more than just women. They also helped the brand grow as those women's matches brought many new viewers to WWE Network. NXT is a appointment viewing for folks every week. And the women there are small as many others. Charlotte's groundwork is a big reason for that. Charlotte not in a good spot here. Well, she knew this match wasn't going to be easy. I really like the resolve we've seen from her in this tag team match, guys. So I wouldn't be against the tag here. You know, just so she can gather herself a bit. But it's still early here, guys. It's going to take a whole heck of a lot more than this to keep her down. Oh, nasty impact. The Queen gained momentum. This man, oh my, taking off her feet now. And you're not going to win many matches down there. With the spear. There it is. Momentum is completely in favor of Charlotte now. In a tag team contest, a superstar and partner walk up against. Here she comes on the counter. She can turn things around. She's got her where she wants her. Great power. Oh my Lord. You gotta like your chances now. In a standard tag team match, one competitor is in the ring against an opponent, and their teammate is in their corner standing on a ring apron. I should also point out that the competitor in the ring, as far as the rep, there's a pin now. Kick out. It's gonna take more than that to keep her down. Oh man, right to the arm, hyperextend her elbow. Charlotte getting put to the limits, and the Queen hanging on. You can see her partner wants to get in here. I don't know how much longer she can go on absorbing all this punishment. She needs to find a way to make it to her corner and make the tag. The Jazz did not waste any time in becoming a dominant force in NXT. Again, there's the tag. And that changes the entire outlook for these women, Michael. There is the reversal from Jacqueline. Takes her down. Wow. Nice going back to Nia Jax NXT days. She really displayed his dominance on her rise to the top, especially performers like Liv Morgan and Carmella without much trouble. I haven't been there for Nia's early days. I can tell you, she was milliseconds away from getting the license. Bailey and Asuka in the NXT Women's Championship. Nia had takeover in hand with both women, but lost due to rookie miscues. Now that she's got more experience, she's earning main event matches and winning titles. Tag team history was made when the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions were crowned last 2016. The unlikely duo of Rhino and Heath Slater fought right into the battle and ran through the tag team title tournament. In the finals, Rhino and Slater took on the Usos to see which team would be the inaugural tag team champion. There was a lot on the line in the tag team tournament finals. The Usos wanted to add another tag team title line to the resume and enjoy the recognition of being the champion. Look at this. Hold on. Float over DDT. He's back in full control. Well, she wouldn't heal. Wait a minute. There goes the rest. And the twitch here is solid. There are good times in sports entertainment when unlikely duos are formed and over time they develop and bond and become an outstanding tag team combination. The team that immediately went to mind was the power duo of Cesaro and Sheamus. After their really best of seven series, I wonder if they developed into a top tag team. Got it down. This is had a plan, executed it. We'll see how long she can keep it up. Give us for and she knows how to make a comeback. Everyone must bow to the Queen, especially her opponent. Get right in the next section. I think we know what's coming up next, Michael. And did we need natural selection? That's it. That's what she needed. This could be it. Everybody kick it. Nice kick it. She dodges that one. Whoa! Clothesline. Ouch.
Really? And Jacqueline plays mind games as good as any lady in the WWE. Man, a little extra luster behind that kick. Oh, it's forward by that one. Yeah, there's no staying on your feet for something like that. Can she end it here? Two goes unbelievable. Great effort for both these teams, guys, but at this point, both sides look to be struggling here. And no luck against the there. Oh, Nia Jackson off the tag. Double tail smacked. Someone is looking at her. She's in deep trouble now. I don't think this is how she envisioned this tag team match. She goes for the cover. Real close, too close to cover. I'm out. Don't believe in that one. And it's showing with the reversal. There's a reason why she's genetically superior. That's the impact. What's this going to be? Wheelbarrow! Jack! Face first. It's over. Beautiful technique. There's the switch. Jacqueline is in. Oh, nice. Great athleticism. It's hard to do that. Much more than Jackson can endure. This may very well be the beginning of the end for her. These women have gone through so much in this match. It's amazing that they're still able to stand. Look at the look in her eyes. She's in the zone now. And she feels foolish running her off now. Oh man, Nia Jax doesn't even know where she is. Oh no, here we go. Jacqueline sees it. She got to do something fast. She fights out, but that doesn't mean the damage wasn't already done, Michael. There may be no escaping this fire exterior. Well, she goes for the cover. Jacqueline gets the finger up. Looks like there's some more fight left in her. Tag in. The tag team scene here in WWE is undergoing a bit of a renaissance, and it's wow, spun away all the way back, and this is giant. 2, 3, they got it. Now let's get into look at some of the high points of that lesson. Where's that go? That's a woman on a mission. And last but not least,
Here are your winners, Bianca Belair and Nia Jax.
and that's a nice win for these two here tonight. This is one of those wins you don't forget anytime soon. Columbus has played host to some amazing matches over the years, including this one.
You